Hey, welcome,
Hello.
welcome to the King-Abrams show. It's good to see your face, Dr. Brian King.
Can you see it? Because I feel like my internet connection is really poor tonight. I don't know why.
You're a little bit blurry. Like you're a little bit retouched.
I feel like I'm like a big blurry ghost in my box here. I don't know what gives. I paid the bill this week. I promised. Yeah. I've been using free Wi-Fi from a neighbor, and
Oh shit.
no, I'm kidding. But
That's why you're and the plot thickens.
yeah. No, I'm actually siphoning it off the McDonald's down the street. So I got a little bit, tiny bit of Wi-Fi at my place. Now I should have full Wi-Fi. My router is right there in front of me. I don't understand why I look so pixelated. I don't get it. How are you?
Well, I'm also having a little bit of technical issues over on this side. I had an audio problem before we logged in, and currently our guest, comedian guest, is texting
Mm-hmm.
me and asking for the link. So I'm going to try and do that. You guys can still see me. I'm a little scared because the last time I tried to do shit while I was on this live, it fucked everything up. So let me just see if hey
Hey Sam,
Samson,
I'll
if
send.
I do you have his email address? He wants it emailed.
Yeah.
And his email, I won't give it out, but I can text you his email address. How about we do
I
that?
have it already.
Oh, wonderful.
There you
I
go.
love it. So yeah, welcome to the King-Abrams show. What a week this has been. I've been extremely, extremely busy. I was a little late on my promotion for tonight's show, but I'm really excited about tonight's guest, just sensational comedian D'Lai. He's got a few different sort of content themes out there, and on stage, this guy is just an absolute beast, just electric, energetic.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
happy to have him joining us later. He's in Atlanta, so unfortunately he won't be in studio. But as soon as I catch this Negro in Los Angeles, we're gonna bring him in here. I was busy this week. I did an art piece. Dr. Brian King, and some people listening
Mm-hmm.
know that I am also a pencil artist. I can take a pencil and draw somebody's face and make it look like a photograph. So they call it, and I didn't realize what they called it until a few years back, but it's called hyper realistic pencil artistry. And
Mm-hmm.
so, of course, last week, Paul Mooney passed away at age 79.
That's
And
right.
if
That's right. It's a
you
big tragic loss.
Yeah, what a loss. If you know anything about comedy history, or if you have ever seen this man perform, if you were lucky enough live, the a level of genius that he imparted to his audiences, the level of just his writing ability and his performance. I'm really at a loss for words. Delay is calling me. Should I answer live?
Yeah, it might be an interesting little conversation. Who knows?
Well, I'm in the middle of talking about oh, there's my art
Yeah,
piece. I
yeah.
didn't know Samson was gonna have that up. Yeah, so it was the first time I drew. So what I did was I drew him. I didn't know Paul Mooney personally, but I talked to him a million times about comedy. When I first started doing stand-up in 1999, I was performing a lot every week, really, at this comedy club or at in North Hollywood at a comedy club called the Ha Ha Cafe. Back then, Buddy Lewis and Kim Whitley
Mm-hmm.
had this room called Whacked Out Wednesdays. And it was the hottest room in LA. Like everybody came through to this room. Eddie Murphy, Chris Tucker. This was again back in like the late 90s. And Paul Mooney was always there. And there are certain comedians that when they get on stage, all the other comedians come in from outside, everybody quiets down and then we listen. And the energy, the electricity that you feel when Paul Mooney was on stage
Yeah.
is like none other. None other. So I just have so much respect for him. And I cried. I actually cried. There's only two celebrities that I cried for when I heard about their passing: Prince and Paul Mooney.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah, I know how you feel. I felt I cried when Bill Hicks died. And that's probably the only celebrity I think who and Mitch Hedberg. I cried for Mitch Hedberg too. But yeah, Paul Mooney, I respected him, of course, and I love your drawings. I think you do really good work.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just amazing. The likeness you capture really well.
Yeah, it's a natural talent. I've never been to art school. My father, I inherited this talent from my father. Apparently, our abilities mirror each other's. I have to look at when I'm drawing a human anatomy. I have to look at it so I can draw what I see. But without looking at a reference, I can draw buildings and scenery. But yeah, if
Right.
I try to draw anatomy or human parts without looking at a reference, then it kind of looks like a kid did it. I don't
You
know
know,
if that makes any sense.
I went to school in college and I dabbled in art. I wasn't, I was always I guess more practically minded. I figured, well, I can't get a degree in art or I can't study art. What am I going to do for a living? Turns out what I studied in college didn't matter anyway. But I did pencil drawings a lot like what you're doing in this.
Well, thank
But
you.
they teach you a technique where you impose a grid over the picture you're trying to reproduce, and then you put a grid over the picture that you were drawing on, and then you turn both pictures upside down so that your eye doesn't actually interfere with your ability to
Huh.
just focus on the details. So you focus on each square in the grid at a time and make sure you get this one to match that one exactly and so forth. And at the end, you turn it upside down and it's like the picture resembles what you want it to look like. You are clearly not doing that. You're
Yeah,
doing
I mean
all this.
that's one
Yeah.
form of scaling. That's what that
Yeah.
is. You just need
Yeah.
to figure out where everything's supposed to
And you're
go,
also
and then
not
once
like,
you figure out where it goes, then you can draw in the shading.
right.
But yeah, again, I've never been to school, so I just do it
Yeah.
however it feels.
But
But
being able to do that freehand, though, which is what you're doing, is amazing. Realize, oh, Derek, thank you so much, buddy. But being able to do that freehand like you do is
Derek,
amazing
thank
because
you.
you just have obviously you just have an eye for recreation, and you've done like with the Eddie Murphy one. I mean, excuse me, not Eddie Murphy. That's
Denzel.
yeah, Denzel. Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought Eddie Murphy because it kind of looked like
Behind
the
me.
Beverly Hills Cop promo, you know. But and there's an Eddie Murphy behind you, but the Denzel you did that one too, right? That
No,
was
no,
a
no. The Eddie Murphy behind me is a
no. I'm talking about Denzel though. I said
yeah,
Eddie
the
Murphy,
Denzel
but yeah,
on the easel is the one I did. There's an Eddie photo
right.
hanging on the wall.
And then so yeah, so the Denzel one is just like that is a photo. If you look at
So
it from a
there it is.
distance.
I
I
feel
lo-
so like I enough of this already. Enough about talking about me. I'm
Ah,
starting to Jesus Louises. Yeah, I did the
and-
Denzel about 10 years ago. Uh
yeah,
after my a little under after my divorce. I wasn't sure what direction I was going to take in life, and so I picked up a pencil after having gone many
yeah.
years without. But enough about me. I did manage to get some sex in this week, even though I was busy
Oh, good.
drawing.
Wait, so I thought we were done. I thought we were done talking about you.
Well,
No,
this is a
talk
show
about
about
the sex.
sex.
Yeah, no, please feel free to tell us about this sex because I've had a really boring week.
Have you really? Sex life wasn't so a poppin' this week, Dr. Brian
I don't
King?
I don't know if it's getting through because of the audiovisual difficulties we're having,
Yeah.
but my voice is hoarse. I'm getting over a cold, and so I've been kind of sick, and I got my COVID shot, and so it's like I just wasn't feeling good. And when you're not feeling good, it's like I don't really feel like putting an effort. you know, Plus, I'm probably not that attractive when I'm sneezing up snot and everything. I'm not that attractive
Just
normally.
just do like me whenever you're getting ready to, you know, try and be yourself when you don't feel like yourself, just throw on some eyelashes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Next
Yeah,
time, try some eyelashes.
yeah. But I've been down. I've been down.
I gotta be honest. I'm gonna circle back around to me. There's the guy that I've been seeing for a couple
Yep.
years, right? We connected this week. And but I also connected with someone from, so the guy that broke my heart,
Hmm.
and really I should credit him for writing the book that I wrote, The Complete Player.
Wait, he is the player?
The player I had dinner with the player on
Oh,
Tuesday.
wow. Oh, does he know you wrote a book about him?
I didn't write a book about him.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know.
Just to clarify, I wrote a
Does
book
he
to
does he
that
know he inspired a book?
I was going to say he inspired. I should credit him with having inspired me to write the book.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Wow.
does, and I doubt very seriously that he's read any part of it. So, but hey, I did a grown woman thing. I went and had dinner with him. He came. He told me he was sorry in several different forms, and I won't
Wow.
get into detail. But he contacted me and said that he didn't mean to hurt me, and I said,
Really?
this motherfucker just trying to see if he can get another blowjob before it's all done.
And
That's what it
did,
felt like.
wait,
But
so is this the first time that you guys sort of socialized since you left or since you parted and wrote this book and all that? Is this?
well, that I've been seeing this guy for 2 years. Incidentally, I stopped seeing the player 2 years ago. So mama just grabbed
Oh,
something real quick, right? And here we are 2 years later, and I'm still seeing him. But he's done a check-in each year. So last
huh.
year, about this time, he reached out to me, wanted to have coffee. Basically, met with him. He had nothing to say, which was exactly par for course. And I've had some time to get over it and pick it apart. So I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you fall in love with the wrong person, and he
Mhm.
very well may have feelings for me, but some people just don't know how to show love. They don't know how to
Right.
receive it or show it. Yeah. So
And
he
some people are just players.
that part. Yeah. I can't know his intentions at this stage because
Yeah.
I don't trust him. So no matter what he said Tuesday or what he may say in the future, it's unfortunate that I have come to a place that anyone would come to a place where you are fully in love with someone, truly care about someone's welfare, and yet you can't even be near them.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've been crying. So I have a little
So yeah,
extra layer of
between
liner on tonight.
between Paul Mooney and
I
that,
know.
it's been a tough emotional week. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, I was crying about Paul for a couple days, on and off, and then I'm nervous about my meeting, and then I met with my player Tuesday, and
Yeah,
it's been a tough week. But you have to make tough grown girl decisions sometimes. Ladies, if he ain't good for you, he ain't good for you.
it's true.
Yeah.
Exactly, absolutely true.
So it's
Nobody
almost
should
time to
be with
bring our guest.
anybody.
Say again?
I was just gonna say nobody should be in a relationship with anybody that's not good for them.
No.
Unfortunately, so many people do. They're afraid to rock the boat. They're afraid to challenge it. Say,
No.
well,
Yeah, they're afraid to rock the boat. They're afraid to rock their partner's boat,
yeah, yeah,
as if they should even care that much about them.
yeah,
But what there are, I think, with me, when you're in love with someone, you're in love with you. The draw is just uncanny, and so emotions, can sometimes take first seat to your decisive decision making, and so
yeah.
you have to be careful not to let emotions
It's a powerful
lead
piece
you.
of our decision making anatomy. It really is.
Yeah,
So many of our decisions are just made because of like the way we feel, as
yeah,
opposed with what we think is good for us. And unfortunately, the way we feel in the moment sometimes screws us as the way we're going to feel long term.
yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to.
Well,
It's
listen,
like,
our show's about sex, comedy, and science, and I got to tell you, this is probably about the saddest start that we've ever had on
no, no.
episode 9.
And then I got sick voice that's all given like, yeah, no,
That's
yeah,
okay because the guest that we have on today, has like enough energy for all three of us put together.
yeah,
Um,
he does.
tonight's topic is about really how much we talk during sex. So can't. I think I titled it "Can you speak up during sex?" And it came from an article I read that it was a study that they did, a short local study they did in 2019. Apparently, half of women in that region uh don't know how to give their guy
Right.
instruction during sex. We talked about this a tad last week.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, it relates specifically to what we were just talking about with relationships, sex and relationships. I mean, it's a parallel. They're two related. If you're not going to talk about your needs emotionally in your relationship, then of course you're not going to talk about your physical needs in the bedroom. And just like you didn't, like we've
Yeah.
talked about, some people, they get stuck in a relationship, they don't want to rock the boat. If you've been banging a guy for a 6 months or a year or whatever, and you're just not very sexually fulfilled, and you might not feel like introducing that subject after a year. I don't want to hurt his
Yeah.
feelings. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to ruin a good thing. Everything else is great except the sex. That I hear that way too much, and I don't understand how things can be great if the sex isn't good. I can
And do you
never
hear that
understand.
more from women? Meaning, I mean, is that something men
Yeah,
go through?
I do hear it more commonly from women, but it is also common in men. Well, the thing with men is that it isn't so much that they don't. With women, the biggest complaint is not having an orgasm. He's just not touching me right. He's not giving me enough time. He's not
Or
letting
at
me do
all?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. With men, they always have orgasms because like basically sex stops with the male orgasm in a lot of couplings. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that that's the way it should be. I'm just saying that's the way it is for a lot of people. So, but with men, it's that she doesn't do this freaky thing that I want her to do. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't. Like I have this this fantasy that I've always wanted a woman to fulfill for me, and she doesn't do it. And so like they go to the strip clubs. They go to they spend all their money, and like live in fantasies, and then they come home to their wives and have regular vanilla sex. Like they can't
That's
do.
always so strange to me.
Yeah.
That's always so strange. There's this one lyric in some song. I don't know what song. I'm sure Chris Brown was on the track. And the lyrics was something like, "She give head so good, you can't trust that one, or you can't take that one home
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
mama." It's like,
It's a
okay,
weird
so what do you marry the
dichotomy.
woman who won't do what you want and then have the side chick to do all the freaky shit? Is that what y'all
Right.
men got the game fucked up if that's what's happening?
Well, I'm not. A lot of people do live their lives that way, and it's weird. And it's not the way it should be led. If you really want to be happy and fulfilled, yeah, you just have to be open with people. Look, say, hey, look, I want you to do this. I want you to stick this up my butt once in a while. I want you to, whatever. You know, I want
Yeah,
you to get
I mean,
freaky.
in my experience, right? So we're both unique for different sets of
Yeah.
reasons, right? And in my experience, I'm always forthright, right? I'm of that 5 to 6% of women who prefer to approach the guy and not be approached.
Yeah.
So, like if you approach me, you better come hard. You better come hard.
You
Um,
are 100% not the typical woman.
yeah, not. I know. I get it. I get it. Not. I know. Typically, women want to be approached. I don't want that. I would be like Street Fighter, like come here. Like I want to. I want to be the one in control. And it also depends on what I'm doing. Right now, I'm being complete savage. Right. I don't want to fall in love. I don't want to get married again at this stage. So that's where I'm at. But so for me, my experience has been, I I'm always trying to crack the code. Men truly, truly, most men do not want to hear you giving them instruction in bed. They don't want
Mhm.
you even to say much. And you have some that are talkers, right? You kind of talk back and forth. It's kind of freaky. But for the most part, men don't know how to take that instruction. In fact, when I got married, I don't want to divulge too much, but when I got married, a year went by and it was clear that I could identify we were not communicating about sex. So I brought up the conversation. So, you were talking a second ago, we don't want to rock the boat. Maybe she doesn't want to rock the boat. She doesn't want to bring it up.
Mhm.
And here's why, because it caused a whole fucking problem in our marriage. He was
Yeah.
like, he sulked for 3 days. Like it was a big psychological problem. I don't know if I think it affected the rest of our sexual history the next 7 years. He had a problem. What is that
Mhm.
about?
Yeah. So again, yeah, it's weird because each gender in our society is taught different expectations, different roles, different ways of acting, right? And so one thing that men are, get from a very early age is that we have to be in charge. We have to know what's up. We have to be knowledgeable, and we have to be a provider of sorts, and
Okay.
that goes in all aspects of life. I have to know how to handle myself in the world. I have to know how to pleasure my woman, and those two things are completely different. But if nobody ever teaches you how to do what you need to do, then you could be back there doing it poorly every single night.
Yeah.
But if I don't want to hear it because I'm so, no, baby, you're wrong. The way I'm doing it is the best. I've never had a complaint
That's
before
what's
you.
happening. Like
Yeah.
that is essentially what, when you pare down what these guys have said to me,
Yep.
that's what they're saying.
Like I've never had a complaint before you. Everybody likes my method, when I'm down
Right.
there eating it like the alphabet. You know what I mean? You look confused by that reference. There's an old joke about like if you don't know what you're doing, just do the alphabet, with your tongue.
I spelled it. Yeah.
Yeah, which is stupid, right? Because you're like,
Yeah.
but the point is, there are men who think they know what they're doing, and they don't want to be told that they don't know what they're doing.
Because
It's
what
like
does it say? What does it say to a man when a woman says,
well,
"Can
let
you
me.
move to the right?"
Yeah, for most men, it would not say it would not mean anything. Say, oh, you want me to do it this way, or oh, you want me to twist a little bit, But it's very cliche. But we're both in comedy. It's very cliche. There's an old joke about men not being able to ask for directions. Women will
Mm,
ask for directions, and men will drive like 3 hours out of the way to avoid asking somebody for directions. It's a fundamental difference in our behavior. Like, man, we just feel like we should know. We just feel like we should know how to do it.
you feel like you shouldn't need help.
Right. And help to admit and ask for help is to admit to weakness and
Mm.
vulnerability, and that goes against a lot of people's vision of what it means to be masculine. And so, and it's not just men. All right. As a woman, if you think your man should be a certain way, or he should be a take charge individual, he should know what he's doing, he should, he shouldn't have to ask for help, etc., then you're not going to tell him how to help you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these
Yeah.
two things factor in, and there's a lot of people in the world who are having very lackluster, boring,
Boring sex lives. I
not
mean, because the implication in not getting this piece right, like if couples, especially married couples, right, or long-term
yeah,
relationships, if they can't figure that piece out, or early on, because if you can't figure out that piece, you're probably not going to last
yeah,
long term.
yeah.
Uh,
When you
the
say
implication is no, real quick. The implication is that you end up with a woman who's going to be unsatisfied
right,
or
right,
potentially a guy, and unsatisfaction, sexual frustration, and unsatisfaction in the bed could lead to infidelity, right? If I'm not getting it from my
right.
husband, whether if he's not gonna, if my husband doesn't like to talk and have conversations about what I've been going through at work, then I'll call my girlfriends and get that from them.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what do you do
Exactly.
if your husband won't listen to you and learn your body? I want to bring
Yeah.
our guest in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, let's get him on this.
Yeah. So the conversation's getting good and hot. We talked for the
It's
first few
ready
minutes.
to get this third opinion in here.
Yeah. Well, we needed to get some like hyper energy in here because
Well, again, yeah, like
I'm bummed out and heartbroken. You're
you're
sick.
bummed out. I'm getting over a cold. You know what? Let me tell you, I got the Johnson and Johnson vaccine, right? And I
Mm,
got it because I had an audition, and they can't require you to be vaccinated to get a job, but in the audition it said you need to state whether or not you've been vaccinated by a certain day. And I was like, oh man, the only thing I could do is the J and J because I can't wait. I don't have the 2 weeks luxury. There's some side effects. There's some side effects of that J and
oh,
J,
and you're
and
feeling that?
yeah, well, I'm coming over it. That's what that's what I was had me out for the whole week.
Well, I hope you feel better. Listen, this is going to make you feel better. Our guest is ready to join us. This guy, I remember the first time I never heard of D'Lai before. And I was at the comedy union. I'm always at the comedy union talking about these comedians. And this guy went on stage, and I just remember the stomping of the feet. He was stomping his feet. This man is a complete act out. Like, his body is a tool. And he was just such a dynamic comedian. So before Brian, are you gonna die over there? What are you doing? Don't die.
Damn.
We about to bring on the guests.
This is how they cure COVID. They just give you a little bit of it.
You guys, warm welcome for our guest, sensational comedian D'Lai, everybody. D'Lai, welcome to the show. Welcome to the King-Abrams show. I'm glad to have you.
Doc, glad to be here, Doc.
Good to have you.
So I don't know if you've been able to listen in.
I've been listening.
You have? Okay. So I know that, I'm dealing with love and heartbroken issues, and Dr. Brian King's over there about to die. He's got some kind of, COVID vaccination happening. And you got raggedy bones too. You got some tendons or something that's not up to par.
Yeah, my Achilles. I had surgery on my Achilles a couple of months ago. So yeah, I'm just getting back into the shape where I can stand up and fuck. That's the kind of show this is. I've been hearing y'all. I can start off with this shit. I've been listening to what y'all been talking about. I'm starting off with some raw shit.
There you go. We need that. Oh my God, we needed that. We needed that so much. This show was getting depressing.
I know. No, dude, usually we're like a lot more energetic. Although I have to say that we may have another. We did have one wardrobe malfunction. One episode, I think. I'm not gonna say which one. So we have D'Lai, and then the potential of one of these babies coming out this show. D'Lai,
it's so blurry right now for me that if you had a wardrobe,
everything is blurry. But the last time that happened,
I wouldn't know.
The last time it was blurry like that, it turned out on the live stream was clear. But anyway, maybe somebody can comment and let us know how we're doing on the technical front with the video.
D'Lai, so how'd you hurt your Achilles?
Yeah.
There's two stories I usually tell about this, but I'm gonna just tell you the shorter version. I was in church and I was praise dancing, and I didn't realize that the spirit had come over me like that. And I thought because I was locked into the spirit, I thought that everything would be okay. But I fell out. I fell out. They put the sheet on me, the white sheet. They covered me up, and I'm like, no, this is not. I'm not in the spirit. Like, I'm hurt, and yeah, they brought a gurney into church and got me. You never seen a gurney in church, have you? I know you haven't. They had a gurney in church to come bring me out, and now I'm working on recovery. I'm just working on recovery now.
That's a rough thing.
I don't know you. I don't know you personally. I know of you, and I'm a fan of yours. But I got a feeling that was a big old lie. Praise dancing. You were probably doing something like the complete opposite. Like, what is the opposite of praise dancing? It's not fucking standing up. It ain't just standing up.
Yeah. For our show, it'd be great. It'd be great if
what kind of fucking was you doing when you tore your goddamn Achilles, nigga? That's your heel. Yeah. How you do that?
Well, first of all, if anybody tell the Achilles fucking, you throwing somebody in the air and catch them, because you're like, but. It's a real injury for people that don't know. Like, it's a real injury. Yeah. It's not one of those. It's a little nick. It's a little bruise. It's a little bump in our bike. No, it's a real injury, and it takes like a full year to recover.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it takes like a full year to recover. So I'm on the road to recovery. I'm getting better. Like I said, I can stand up on 2 feet now. So
you got physical therapy and all that.
Yes.
Good?
Yes.
Good. My girlfriend used to be a physical therapist before she became a porn star. So
yeah, he's not lying, D'Lai. And his wife is hot as hell. They crazy. They some freaks.
But I like it though. I like that you came in running though. So we talk about sex. What do you think about? Are you in a relationship or?
Yes.
What do you think about this whole idea of women not being able to communicate their desires, their needs, or both partners? Could be either.
I mean, can you handle it?
Do you tell your partner what you need?
Everything. I tell them everything that's going on my mind, because I think that's the best form of any relationship, openness. Like, if you can be open, because I'll tell my lady, hey, listen, tonight I want some vagina from you. And another woman.
There you go.
Now, for some women, it's like, I can't believe. Well, take the nigga that's gonna go cheat then, because I'm telling you straight up what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You got to be open, and I'm gonna tell you. And I'm not one of those people. Like, I know some dudes. This is Doc. You tell me if you've heard this before. You tell me too, Sam. But I've heard some dudes. I don't know if it's a new thing or not, but dudes are faking orgasms.
What kind of shit is that? I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah, people do. Well, it's
I mean,
okay. You can okay, Sam. A man can have an orgasm without an ejaculation. I mean, that's something that's pretty well known. You know, so like I mean, all I'm saying, look, there's sometimes if you're not feeling it, you're not into it, and you just want to get on with your life and go watch TV. All right,
okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
that was my next question. Yeah. Like, what would be? Why would someone do that?
Yeah, I
mean,
you
got not a show on TV that'll make me stop me from getting my nut. That ain't a show on TV. That ain't a digital show. That ain't a show in the movie theaters. There ain't no show on earth
that'll make me. That?
Because here's the deal. Once I go in, I'm coming out.
That's right. Well, there's also true. Like some guys, if you're not into what you're doing, and like say for example, you're addicted to internet porn, or you got like some hot chat date, you know, that I want to Snapchat this girl, but at first I gotta pretend like I love my wife. You know what I mean? Like people do that.
Now see, so these are married men that are faking orgasms.
You know, it could be anybody's situation. I'm just saying these are possibilities, you know.
Well, I don't know. I don't even have I have no opinion on that because I can't even register that in my brain. I've never experienced such a thing. I mean, what is it like if it's not like you feel like you're not going to get your orgasm? Men are always going to get their orgasm if they go long enough. It's like, this is laziness. This is like a lack of ambition.
I don't want to monopolize this conversation because we got this great guest, but I just remembered my own personal history where I did fake an orgasm once.
Why, in God's name? Please do.
Well, here's the situation, Sam. All right, no man is ever going to fake with you because you are extremely attractive and you're open and you're very sexual, and those are all big turn-ons for dudes, right? I remembered as we were talking a long time ago, back in my single days, there was a girl I met on some kind of site or whatever, and she was not at all what I was into, but I was bored and I had nothing going on, so we met up, and I just couldn't, you know what I mean? In her presence, it just wasn't working for me. And I would have had a better time if I just got her out of the room and took care of myself. You know, and so I remember
that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, and so and the thing is, when you're wearing a condom, right? It's not even the question of did you ejaculate or not. You could just be, yeah, there we go. Hey, I'm gonna go tie this off and throw it away. Get out of my room. You know what I mean? Like there's a. So it was like there are possibilities, and it just occurred to me. I faked one orgasm my whole life.
Did you feel bad after? Like, did you go through guilt and shame after you did that?
No, I had blue balls for a moment, but I took care of them quick, man. That was the whole thing. It wasn't like I felt bad. I just really she just wasn't helping me, and her being there was kind of like keeping me from being able to finish. You know,
that's another thing I don't understand since you mentioned it. Blue balls. So if I had a penis, hypothetical, if I had a penis in at least one hand, I don't think I would ever get this thing you call blue balls. How does that happen?
I'll let D'Lai field that one.
Me personally, I don't believe in blue balls. When you got the power to release it, like just because you don't get it out for me, that don't mean it ain't coming out.
Exactly.
It's coming out. I wish I would stay on hard so long waiting for vagina. Let me tell you something. I'll pull it out and start jacking off in front of you. I'm gonna get it off. Oh, I'm not into it right now. Okay, I am. Let me go. Pop this bitch off. I don't believe in blue balls.
Yeah, that's we're on the same page.
Well, of course, you know, you're not going to let yourself get in that situation, but you understand though, if you don't do that, jerk off, then you are going to experience a little bit of something.
And for the ladies that truly don't know anything about this, explain what it feels like. Like, what happens to your balls? Do they get big? Do they get blue? Do they get like what happens? Do
I
they
was
harden?
always afraid of it. Like when I heard blue balls, I heard this like as a kid. And I heard my uncles. I'm like, yeah, well, you better make sure the girl don't give you blue balls. You better. And when I heard blue balls, I thought that your balls actually turned blue.
Right.
I thought because you weren't having sex, your balls. I thought that my balls are brown. I thought that my brown balls would turn blue. So I always had that in mind. So I was like, I'm never gonna make my balls turn blue. I'm gonna keep this thing cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
I keep mine beet red just so they don't turn blue.
Oh my God.
Beet red.
Do they really? They don't turn blue. What happened?
No, they don't turn blue.
We don't know. Women don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about.
They just hurt.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, sometimes they turn kind of purple. I guess I don't know. I mean,
but I think that's because you're white. I think they start kind of pink.
It might be. It might be blue balls might actually be a white people phenomenon. I don't know.
Let me find out. Niggas don't get blue balls.
Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure we both get the same like sensations, but the actual discoloration might not occur. You know, because I've seen my junk. I've seen my junk get purple before. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, well. I hope and pray that does never happen again. Now that you have your hot ginger wife. Shout out to Sarah, by the way. D'Lai, I have a kind of hypothetical question along the lines of our topic tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in a relationship. How long have you been? Is it a serious relationship?
Yeah, serious.
Okay, and so it's been around a year, over a year?
Under a year. Been knowing each other over a year, but it's been under a year.
Okay, and you guys have great communication?
Oh, yeah.
She tells you what she likes, and you're okay with it?
Oh, yeah. Let me know what you see, because that's a part of it. I need to be able to receive whatever your shit is, and you need to be able to receive whatever my shit is. If I like fucking in a pantry and you're not into fucking in the pantry, you need to open up a little bit. Like, okay, why is this man want to fuck me in this pantry like this? But if you be like, I ain't fit fucking in no pantries, cookies and cakes and all kind of shit there, I'm not. Then we're not gonna be able to be compatible sexually. But if you at least have the open mind, like, okay, the pantry, is the light gonna be on? No, it's gonna be dark in that bitch. God damn, this motherfucker feel like kidnapping. So I'm one of the notion that you need to tell people what you want.
Right.
We too old to be sitting up here hoping that you get it right.
Yeah. Right.
Let me tell you something. You give me some head and something ain't right, I'm calling out instructions right there. Look to the left. No more teeth.
Yeah.
More tongue.
I love it.
More tongue, less teeth.
That's right.
Gummy.
That's how it should
Gummy.
be.
I'm gonna tell you, because you can't ever say, I don't know what you want. Shit. You know exactly what I want. I'm telling you.
I love it. And I feel like people might be looking at me and you and maybe Brian and say, these guys are crazy. They're freaks. But really, I don't see it that way. I'm like, the other side is crazy. Why not communicate? What are you so shy about? It's just you and this other person and maybe others that you've invited naked in a room, and you're there for a purpose. Tell them what you want. And if you can't take instruction from me, then it's a deal breaker, period.
Why would anybody want to be in an unfulfilling relationship?
Exactly.
So there's a couple of things about the way we live right now, right? First of all, we live hella long. We live way longer we're supposed to. It used to be death till us part was only like 10-year commitment, you know?
Right. Because people were only living until their mid-30s.
Right.
back in, before antibiotics were available. Yeah, exactly. And then so it's like, well, okay, whatever. I have to jerk off and she's not satisfying me, or I got to rub one out every night after he goes down on me, whatever, but don't say less teeth, no teeth. One of our listeners apparently doesn't like teeth in her BJs. Who
Yeah. Well, I think it's an exchange. I think what happened, for example, when I was married, there was really bad communication in that way. And, you kind of have to I think people are putting their life on balance. They say, well, I am married, right? I have someone helping with the finances. I have someone's shoulder to lean on. We have children together and yada, yada, yada. We have this home together and so forth. And so now I'm not going to leave just because he doesn't know how to give me an orgasm. Right? Is that essentially what you're saying? Right? I'm just going to go. Have we talked about this before? Secret, independent bathroom marriage masturbation. That's what that's what we're talking about.
And that's fine when life expectancy is lower, when women have fewer opportunities in the world, you know, when Tinder is not a thing. You know what I mean? Like,
the day.
Yeah. Like now it's like, you know, I could pull up on an app on my phone and like do a couple swipes and I'm getting laid in like 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it works. You know, and like a woman, you can walk away from a marriage, have a job, have your own, you know, family, have everything, you know, and plus we have a lot of life to look forward to, you know? So yeah, it was easier to comply and just with the status quo, even if the status quo was unfulfilling a couple generations ago. And but those are unfortunately the people teaching our kids and then our kids' kids and so forth. And so we still have these attitudes to perpetuate. Like the study you saw, 53% of women aren't going to tell their
are
partners,
still scared to speak up because they're scared of hurting
I would
their
imagine
feelings.
If had that study been done 40, 50 years ago, we would saw like 70 or 80% of those women, you know, so at least we have, you know, the numbers coming down. And honestly, if you're in an unfulfilling sexual relationship, cheat. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do.
Don't do that. Hey,
doctor recommends cheating. Definitely.
Oh my God. Well, D'Lai, I'm with you. I'm all for. I can stand behind what you're talking about tonight. Communication is key, and congratulations on being able to stand up and fuck. I hope you get better faster. I hope you get well fast. Where can we find you, D'Lai? I know you're in ATL right now.
Right now I'm in Atlanta, but in LA on social media, it's D'Lai. Website, it's D'Lai.com.
There it is.
My new show on YouTube, The D'Lai Show. It's a talk show storytelling platform where I bring in my friends and we sit and laugh and talk and tell stories. In addition to that, something I got to get you on, Samantha, I have another segment called D'Lai After Dark.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second because I'm hooked. I'm hooked on D'Lai After Dark like I'm hooked on tranny porn. You ever try to watch some female porn before noon? It's a wrap. That's all I'm doing all day, right? When I tune in.
What? Wait a minute. Okay, keep going.
I'm gonna keep going. When I tune into your D'Lai After Dark, I can't tune out.
Yeah.
I can't tune out until it's done. Yeah. I'm gonna miss something. I feel like I'm gonna miss something. How did this evolve? Tell us what it is and how did it evolve?
I'm glad you asked. First of all, it happened during the pandemic, and look, I see a lot of people doing this after dark shit. I was the first one I seen do the after dark shit. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter as much, but I just want to throw that out. I was on live during the pandemic, and I'm talking, and you know, my lives are always late night, and would come in, and they would think that, you know, I'm you know, doing something extra, and they would come on and then start expressing themselves, twerking, a little bit of lingerie on, half the titties out. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Let me just see what this is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it's after dark, so let's just. And then somebody's like, D'Lai After Dark. You got damn right, it's D'Lai After Dark.
Yeah,
it is D'Lai After Dark. So now when I say it's D'Lai After Dark, ladies are coming in and they're ready. However, it's transition now. It's not just sitting on the platform of Instagram because I've gotten shut down. I don't know if you heard about how my Instagram got shut down.
Oh, no.
Dr. Brian, let me tell you what happened to me on my Instagram.
Oh, man.
It never happens to you as a man or any other man. I'm on my Instagram live. I'm on and D'Lai After Dark is on, and I have a guest on. Her name is Kinky Pinky. So you can already tell where her sexuality lies. Kinky Pinky. She's on and she has a lot of different toys, and you know, she's got the titties pressed up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you got a lot of toys. Take me through these toys. Tell me what you have. Now, at the time that I'm doing this, I'm in LA and I've got a loft, and my loft is divided by a big curtain. So my son's on the other side, I'm on the other. Okay. I'm on one side, you're on the other. So as I'm watching, my sons are doing teenage shit, loud, wilding, and she's trying to show me these dildos. So I'm like, hey, boys, y'all got to chill out. I'm on live over here trying to take care of business.
Wow.
If y'all doing all this, I'm not going to be able to entertain my guests. Please keep that shit down, okay? Because I'm doing something over here. Keep it.
So they were like, you were doing porn while kids.
I turn around. Kinky Pinky has the dildo up her shit, banging it out.
Yeah, that'll get you kicked off.
I can't stop. I can't even hit end. I want to hit end. I can't hit end. So before I could even say anything, the chat, the group that live is going nuts, by the way. It's going nuts because there's a pussy on live during the pandemic.
Awesome. My
She keeps going squirts out into the Instagram. Shut my live down.
Wow.
They shut my live down. When I tell you it was going nuts.
Oh my God.
So I said, okay, I got to put this on another platform. This is getting out of hand.
Okay.
So I decided to put it over on Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/it's D'Lai, you'll be able to pull up all of my stuff. A lot of content that you don't see on the internet.
Sam, we gotta get Kinky Pinky on this show.
Ooh, you gotta help me with that. I'm gonna come on your show. Just follow up after we wrap.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, I want to do your show in studio as well because I love the energy and topics like this. They'll go over virtually, but like to be in studio where we all face to face, it's a bang. So we're gonna be able to do this again because you got to come on a D'Lai show. I gotta have you. I got to have you.
I will be there, and you definitely need to be in studio. Yeah, so this was a fun show. Thank you for lightening our spirits because we did start out on some real sad shit, and I knew you would do it. You guys, go on to Instagram, go on to Patreon, and find It's D'Lai. Samson, if you could throw that back on the screen one more time so they can get the correct spelling of his name. It's D'Lai, at It's D'Lai everywhere on social.
There it is.
Don't forget to buy. Is it up there yet? It's coming. And don't forget to check out our books. Dr. Brian King and I are both comedians, but we're both also science authors. And D'Lai, you have a book as well. Tell us about that before we go.
There's a bunch of book writers on this show.
I do have a book. My book is called D'Lai, The Journey Behind the Smile. It's a story about my life. It's not your basic comedian's book where it's a laugh thing. It's a whole story. It just takes you through a whole lifetime from little Dee to Dietrich to D'Lai. And it's a roller coaster of emotions that it's going to take you on. It's fun. It's going to be, at the end of it, I hope that you are inspired by it, mostly of anything. And you can go get it from my website. If you want an autographed copy, go to my website, itsdlai.com. Or if you just want it overnight, go to Amazon and they'll shoot that thing, but it won't be autographed. So itsdlai.com for all of my merchandise, especially my book, The Journey Behind the Smile.
Yeah, I can't wait to read it. And I promise you that I will buy it on Amazon and read it before either you come on my show again or I come on to your show.
Yes.
And also you can find all three of our books on
I was about to say,
Amazon.
I want to get you guys books as well.
Yeah, you can find our books on Amazon. And just for the listeners, listen, if you buy the book and read it and like it, the best way to support an author that you love is to write a review. You can find my book, The Complete Player, which is a neurological description of the love game between the player and his mark. It really just picks apart the brain science behind love, sex, lust, addiction, and self-worth. And Dr. Brian King's book, The Art of Taking It Easy, spells out, how to cope.
There we go.
There we go. You want to plug yourself?
Yeah, I just want to say this. So my book was selected for the month of May to be pushed through Amazon. So they've been running a special on it all month long, and that special, of course, is up in just a couple of days. The special is for the ebook only. So if you guys read ebooks or you think you might want to read it in the future, download it before June 1st, because June 1st it goes back to full price. And Amazon's been really supportive of this book. It went top 10 in Germany, it went top 10 in Poland, it went top 10 in the UK, and here in the United States, it's been doing really good. So download it before June 1st to get in on that deal.
I'm super happy for you, Brian, on the success of this book. I read your first book, The Laughing Cure, which was great. And so I still have yet to read the second one, and I'm super happy. You guys, D'Lai, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you,
Dr.
Sam.
Brian King.
Thank
This has been another case of the King-Abrams show. We out.
Straight up, I'm serious. Stand up and clap.